So by the title, you guys know that this is going to be a brow tutorial, like the 300,000 million brow tutorial on YouTube. So the products that I'm going to use is the Cabral Brow Cream by Benefit. I'm going to use the shade 4.5, which looks like this here. It's one of their new shades. And I'm also going to use their Browsings in the shade number 6. I'm going to use a tiny bit of this. You don't have to use this, or you don't have to even include a brow powder, but I do. Now I'm going to take the, not right now, but I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to use a flat head brush, a double brush with a spoolie, and a angled brush at the other end. This is actually an eyeshadow primer by Pure Cosmetics. It's called Get a Grip. And it looks like this here. I think it's about $20. I am going to apply that Get a Grip to my brows, and this makes my brows stay put all day long. Like they just don't budge whatsoever, and it also holds on to the product. So basically, I'm going to take a little bit at a time, and I am going to start by outlining the lower part of my eyebrow. Then I'm going to start working on the arch of my brow. And then I kind of fill it in as I go, but I always try to keep the beginning kind of empty and not filled in. Then I go over the top and slowly try to connect it with the arch of my brow, and then filling it in, not going back into product, just slowly using whatever I have on the brush. Then I go through with my spoolie and kind of, just brush through it basically. Then I clean up the line a little bit more by adding just a tiny bit of product to kind of further define it. And I'm mainly using the tip of the brush, not like pressing the brush so hard that it makes the product look very, very harsh. I just want to outline the brow. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the browsing and basically on the tip of that angle brush. This is what I use to kind of create my little hair strokes. So I'm basically using the tip of the brush and just kind of flicking it through the tops of my brows. And I actually have it pointed directly at my bottom line of my brows, and I flick it up. Because as I'm flicking it up, the line becomes sharper and thinner. You can actually use something darker if you want, but I'm using something like just a shade darker than what I've used for the rest of my brow. And I just go through it, just adding wherever I feel like I want to add some more fake brow hair strokes. Now I'm going to use that flat brush and that concealer, and you can see like how perfect it lines my concealer up against my brows. That's why I like that brush, especially for somebody that's a beginner. And I'm just doing slow strokes across the bottom of my brow, and then I'm curving it out, hugging right up against the brow. And I just like to take that concealer downwards towards my eye so that it just doesn't look all piled up against my brow. And then I also start to take the brush sideways to further clean it up and like disperse or dispense or kind of clean up the brow with that concealer. And that's basically it. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't tend to clean up the top of my brows like really ever, because I feel like I do them pretty perfectly. But if I do clean up the tops of my brows, I really use whatever is left on my brush from actually cleaning up the bottom part of them. So it's really like not a whole lot, but I do apply like pressure to kind of place that color down onto my brows. So see, you can probably tell like I'm kind of tugging, and that's only because there's not a lot of product, but there's enough to kind of clean up the tops of my brows. And I use that same brush. If I don't use this brush, I use another Real Techniques brush. It's the detailer brush. It's super, super small, and it's a great detail brush for cleaning up your brows. So guys, this is basically it. There's nothing left that I can really tell you. This is how I do my brows with different products, whether it be cream or a pencil. You guys, if you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.